I do love a caramel latte. They are just the best coffee, in my opinion. Hello, my loves. Welcome to a new reading vlog. So I am going to be reading May's book recommendation for the 12 book challenge that I'm doing, and I really hope that May's book is going to be brilliant. I'm hoping it's going to be a 5-star read because I've not had a single 5-star read yet. And the last 2 months, the books have been a flop. I've had a DNF and I've had a 2-star. And quite frankly, I'm like, I do not want to carry on having flop after flop after flop each month, because this 12 book challenge will then end up being a complete disaster. And I'm not going to lie, last month's book I never vlogged. I'm glad I didn't, to be honest, because it would have just been a complete rant of how awful this book represented mental health, in my opinion. I'm glad I didn't vlog it, but also that book put me in a massive slump, so kudos to that. But I really hope this month's book is going to be the one, because everyone, I mean everyone, their mothers, their grannies have read this book, and I haven't. I have owned this book for 2 years. I have had this book on numerous TBRs, and I have never touched it because I have been so worried. Admittedly, the first couple of times, like the first few months where I put it on my TBR, I was like, oh, I don't know, because I had in my head that it was a middle grade. It's not. I remember someone commenting on one of my TBR videos saying it's not middle grade. I don't know what age range it is. I don't know whether it's YA, new adult, or adult, but regardless, I don't mind as long as it's not middle grade, because they just aren't for me. But I'm really excited to get to this book. I'm a little bit nervous because everyone loves this book, and I'm worried that I won't love it. I might enjoy it, but I'm worried I might not have that whole I love this, it's the most amazing book ever and recommend it to everyone, because I read Once Upon a Broken Heart and I didn't hate it, but I gave it 2 stars. It was a complete flop for me and I did not get the hype. And I have been like that with some highly rated books and very beloved books. I don't get the hype. And then there's books where I honestly went into it with low expectations, thinking I'm not going to enjoy it. Colin Hoover, for example, and then turn around and saying, this is amazing, I get the hype. So I'm kind of got into this situation of I'm going to put myself in really low expectations, specifically in this book, and hopefully be surprised, because if I go into this book thinking this is going to be a masterpiece, it might not be. So the book in question, I'm going to be reading House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I've had this since 2020. This was a Bookstagram made me do it. Everyone was talking about this book and I was like, I want to know what the hype is. So I bought it. I never read it. It's been on my TBR for so many times. But we're finally getting here and I am excited. I really am excited because it gives me summery vibes just by the cover. I feel like there's going to be a feel-good book and I am in the mood for this kind of book. So fingers crossed. I might get my first 5-star, but I'm also going into this book with not too big high expectations, just in case. But you all probably know what this book is about. You probably all read it. I can't remember what this book is about, so I'm going to read the synopsis just in case any of you haven't read it and are curious, but also mainly for me because I can't remember what this book is about, and it would be nice to know what this book is about. So, a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in a department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment: travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the most mysterious of which is Arthur Parnassus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn, or worse, his secret comes to light. The House in the Cerulean Sea is an enchanting love story masterfully told about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realising that family is yours. It just sounds really good. I got like found family vibes, like as a caseworker, we've got an orphanage, we've got magic, so I'm intrigued to know what these 6 children, like what their powers are. And I also know that it's got crept in. I think it's a gay romance in this, so I love that as well. So I'm excited for this. I'm hoping that this is going to be the one that I might actually finally get my first 5-star read. Even if I don't, I do think I am going to enjoy this just by the synopsis. So we'll see. So I am going to be reading this. I don't know how long this is going to take me. It's under 400 pages. So depending on how fast paced it is, how much enjoyment I'm getting out of this, I might read it quickly. It might be a slow read. I do want to take my time with this because I think it's going to be one of those books that like I need to. But yeah, I'm really excited. I get to finally read this book, and I'm hoping I'm going to love it because I do have Under the Whispering Door, which I know has got a bit of more of a horror vibe in it, and I'm quite excited for that, and it does sound really good and it does give me that vibe. So I'm kind of feeling like if I really enjoy this book and TJ Kling's writing, then I might pick that book up for June possibly. But yeah, let's get started with the vlog, let's get started reading, and I will catch up with you all when I've got some reading updates and like my initial feelings. So I hope you enjoy this vlog, get comfy, have a hot drink yourselves, and I will check in later. Hello my loves, I don't have any reading update because I haven't actually picked up the book yet, I haven't even started it. I needed to go to the library basically because I had some books on hold, and I thought, well, I'll do that first thing in the morning and then, you know, I don't have to do anything. My mum ended up coming with me as she wanted to pop to Lidl. So we ended up going to the library, we had a little mooch around like we do, and then we went to Teacher, which we just saw on the B-rolls, and we both had a coffee, and then we went to Lidl's. And I come on because this is the bag full of books. So let me show you what, bear with, I have got. So I have got Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard. This is the novella prequel or something of Red Queen. I'm doing the Red Queen read along with Rise Reading Corner. So we're reading Red Queen and also this. So I finally picked up that. This is really gross. Like, look at the blood. I actually thought it was a stain then, but it's not. So I'm not sure whether you have to read Red Queen and then this, or if it's this first and Red Queen. I can't remember. But I got that. I also finally got I can't say this. Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is a sci-fi series. I think the series is The Expanse. This is the Late Night Crew book club. I've also actually got this on audiobook because this is a chunky book and I think it would be quite easy to read and listen along to it. So I've got that. And then I also got, random, but I saw this and I was like, oh my god. So it's by Laura Belbin, who I know her as Knee Deep in Life on Facebook and Instagram. Basically, she's a mother of 2? I can't remember now. But she does all of these, like, these hilarious things. She also shares a lot of, like, mental health and things like that. I know she had a non-fic book out. I don't know whether it's like a memoir, an autobiography, or what. I genuinely don't know what this is about, but I just saw it when I was just about to get my books out, and I was like, I absolutely adore her, so I thought this would probably be quite a fun non-fiction book, because they're not, like, my favourite. So it's Wife, Mother, Realist, and Why You're Already Enough. So it says, Laura Belbin survived hitting her 30s, oh to be wrinkle-free, anxiety, just motherhood, 2 adorable little shits, and a new body that went with it, a left tit that sags slightly more than the right anyone. This is a fearless and filthy account of how she did it, and a sweary reminder that you are more than enough. And it just says it there, we've got this. So I saw this and I thought this would just be a blast. And then I've got some poetry. I'm really in a poetry kick. I don't know why. I haven't even actually read any poetry yet. I'm just in the mood to read poetry. So I have got I've got a few, but they're not ready yet. In transit. But I've got one of Amanda Lovelace's poems. It's The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. So I've got that, and I just loved it, so I've got that. I've also got Pillow Forts by Courtney Peppernell. A lot of people like this author. There is a book, and I can't remember what it's called now, which I'm not sure whether I've requested or whether it wasn't there. I can't remember, but I thought I'd give this one a go because a lot of people really like her poetry, and it seems cute. And I think there's like a few little pictures in here, like little doodles. Yeah, like that, for example. And then I absolutely love Langleaf. I've read quite a few of her poetry books. I actually owned like quite a few, and then I read them all, and then I got rid of them. And I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't get rid of them, because I would have had a right little collection. But she's got some new poetry out, and I didn't realise. So I've got Love Looks Pretty on You, which is poetry and prose. Absolutely stunning cover. And like, you know, some of her poems are like just one sentence, others are like little, you know, long ones. So I've got that one, and I've also got Sea of Strangers, again by her, another poetry and prose one, and I do have a few other Langleaf books. Again, they're in transit, so hopefully I'll pick them up. So that is my little book stack. And yeah, we were in Lidl, and they had some perfume there, and I had a little sniff. So it was £4.49. Oh my god, it smells gorgeous. I could put it on my hand. If you could smell it, let's smell it. You can't smell it. But it smells really nice. So I think once I've run out of my perfume, I might have to get it because it smells lush. But yeah, that's my little haul. I'm now going to go and grab some food. I do need to read some of my chapters for my Rebel Skies read along that I'm doing with Tandem Collective. So I'm going to do them so they're out of the way, because I think I've got 2 days worth to catch up with. Annoying. But it won't take me long, and then I will start The House in the Cerulean Sea, so I might start that late afternoon or probably at bed, but I certainly will start it in a bit. I just really want to get Rebel Skies out of the way, otherwise I'm going to be really behind and everything. But yeah, that's that. I'm going to go grab some lunch, read a bit of Rebel Skies, and then start The House in the Cerulean Sea. So I will update you. I think I'm going to update you when I hit the 100-page mark. So depending on when that will be, whether it's later on today or possibly tomorrow, I think I'll update you then, give you like my thoughts, and then probably update you when I'm halfway, and then end final thoughts. So I think that's going to be the plan. But yeah, I will catch up with you all a little bit later. My loves, so I have finally reached the 100-page mark. I am currently on page 111, chapter 7 of The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I'm really enjoying it. It was a little bit of a slow start for me, just purely getting to know our main character, Linus, I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about him. I feel like he's a loner. He's certainly a loner. He certainly, just does his job and then goes home. That's pretty much his life. And I think because of that, he's quite standoffish, quite blunt, quite in some sense rude, even though he doesn't mean to be rude. So it's taken me a while to warm up to him, and I think it's very clear that he knew so much in regards to like the magical beings, and going to this new orphanage, he's actually realizing that there's more to it, and he's sort of, I think in some sense, trying not to be prejudiced and all of that. So like his character's interesting, and I've got a feeling as we get into this book we might see his like character grow, and like his opinions might change. But at the moment he's one of those ones where I'm like, I think he seems rude. He isn't rude, and by no means, like, he isn't rude to anyone or anything like that. He's really polite, but it's just sort of like his opinions and sort of the way he is, and he's like very focused in regards to all of these rules. That he seems quite standoffish and all that. But I've just reached. So I basically got to him being told that he has to go to this new orphanage at this Cerulean Sea, and basically he has to see what the master, the one who runs this orphanage, to see whether he's doing what he's meant to and all of that. So he's just got there, and he's just met these 6 children that are extremely different. Now, I actually had to write notes down because I knew full well I would probably forget their names or forget what they are. So one of the bits I knocked down is, I don't know whether it's just Dicomy or whether it's like Dicomy or Dicomy. I don't really know, but it's Department in Charge of Magical Youth, which is what Linus works for, and basically he is a caseworker of that. In other words, like layman's terms to us, he's like a social worker. His job is basically to make sure these magical children are being treated well, that they're not they're not being naughty, that their powers aren't doing anything bad and things like that. He's just basically checking to see all's well and stuff like that, and if not, then he has to report them and things like that. Then we obviously, so he's our main character, like Linus is our main character, we're following him. He's 40 years old, and I must admit, at times, he feels extremely young and naive, considering like he's 40. I'm quite shocked at something, like some stuff and some of like his reaction. I'm like, oh god, you seem really naive and quite young for someone who's 40. But I genuinely think because he's such a loner, because he's a recluse, he works, like his whole life is, he works, does his thing, he goes home, he chills with his cat. That's what he does every single day. We then have Mr. Parnassus, or Arthur. So he is the master of Marcia's orphanage. I don't know whether it's Marcia's or Marcia's. Not sure how you pronounce it. He's 45, and I'm not 100% sure whether he's got some magical elements in him or something. I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't know whether Linus is like human or whether he's got some magical stuff. I don't fully know, and we don't know too much about Linus at the moment. But Arthur sort of feels like possibly there's something about him. Like, he seems to know a lot. Like, maybe he's like got like maybe he can see the future or something like that. He also, with his children that he looks after, specifically one who doesn't talk, so he actually understands what this child's saying. He also can talk a different language to this other child, so it's sort of like, has he got some like power himself? And then we have the other adult, which is Miss Chapelwhite, and she is the caretaker of the orphanage, and she is a island sprite. I don't really know, there are more than one sprite, but there is. So she is an island sprite. And then we have the 6 children. So we have Talia, and she is a gnome. So she's a garden gnome. She literally looks like a gnome, but she even has a beard and everything, and she's small. And I absolutely love Talia. Firstly, big shout out to having a small person, 4'9". we love having small little people in books. Also, she is absolutely hilarious. I already love her character, and I just think she's awesome, and I just want more of her in this book. I just think she's brilliant. We then have Theodore, who is a wyvern, and his sort of species is nearly extinct. Sort of to me, how it's described is like he's sort of like a really small dragon kind of thing, but like he doesn't breathe fire and stuff like that, but he likes like coins and like brass and things like that, which makes me smile because that sort of reminds me of Darius in the Zodiac Academy, of like what he like with his dragon, he has to have coins and all of that, so it sort of made me smile that we had that. We then follow Fee, who is a forest sprite, and she's extremely powerful. Then we follow Sal, who is a shifter, and he shifts into a 5-pound Pomeranian, so like a very fluffy dog. We then have Chauncey, who I have no idea what he is, but I will explain what the description is, but it doesn't actually say like what he is. But he's a green blob with lots of tentacles. He has red lips and black teeth. No idea what he is, like whether you would say he's like a monster or what. I don't know. I've never heard of a species that's a green blob, basically. And then last but not least, we have a 6-year-old. Well, we have a 6 year, 6 month, and 6 days child. 666. Can you guess? We have Lucifer, otherwise known as Lucy, and he is the Antichrist. His father is the devil. So I don't know all of the children's ages. I do know Lucifer because we saw Lucifer's case file in this book. So I don't know whether, as we get into the story more, whether we will find out their ages. But I think Lucifer is definitely the youngest, and I think the others are a little bit older, possibly. Absolutely love Lucy. Like, he's a 6-year-old kid, and he's pretty much trying to be scary and doing all these like things, and saying all this creepy stuff to try and scare Linus, which is very much working. But when Lucy's not trying to do that to Linus, he's there helping cook dinner, singing along to songs, and just looking like your regular 6-year-old funny child. I really like Theodore. I think he's quite sweet. In just like he doesn't talk, but just sort of like he doesn't know how to use his wings or his feet. It's just adorable. And Sal, he just sounds adorable. Like, he's a fluffy Pomeranian. Like, what's not to love? But he seems really anxious and nervous, and he doesn't like loud sounds and stuff like that. So he sounds like a cutie. Like, I'm really enjoying the characters, and I just love the fact that we've got like young children, and like some of these like young children seem more adulty than Linus, in my opinion. I'm really enjoying some of like the quotes here. I haven't tabbed anything just purely because I can't be bothered, but I have just underlined some things. So they were talking about the children while Linus was on the ferry going to the orphanage, and Miss Chapelwhite said to Linus, "They fear what they don't understand, and that fear tends to hate for reasons and not even..." Let me say that again. "They fear what they don't understand, and that fear tends to hate for reasons I'm sure even they can't begin to comprehend. And since they don't understand the children, since they fear them, they hate them." Because basically, actually on land, like everyone's really scared of them and all that, because like basically they don't understand them and all of that. And then another bit that I underlined, it says, "Sometimes our prejudices colour our thoughts when we least expect them to. If we can recognise that and learn from it, we can become better people." I just thought that's absolutely brilliant. Like, it's really true that we all are very, we all can be. So like already there's some really like awesome quotes that I'm just like, yes. But yeah, it was a little bit of a slow start, just purely for me to just get into it, and also, with Linus, his character's very like, oh, okay. But I really am enjoying this book. It's really good, and I can see why people love it. It's got such an amazing world building as well, and I just can't help enjoy the children. It's just, especially Talia, she's just hilarious, and I'm also really intrigued to see how Linus' character grows. Like, I kind of feel like as he gets to know the children, like some of the things that he sort, like the rules and regulations that he gets with like his work. Like I think I don't know, I think as we get into the book and you will see his character grow, and obviously I'm aware that Arthur and Linus, there's clearly going to be a little bit of a romance there at some point, so that would be nice to see. But yeah, already I'm enjoying the book. I can't wait to read more. I'm not going to read any more now though, purely because I am exhausted. I had a rough night last night. I basically was itching everywhere. It sounds weird, I know, but my medication I take for my Crohn's, one of the medication I take can affect my liver, so I have to have monthly bloods just to check that it's not doing any damage to it. But sometimes if my medication is just making my liver a little bit funny, one of the things is I get extremely itchy, and last night that happened. Like it happens like once every few months, like it's usually about 3 times a year, but like I get like a full bloody itching. I can't stop itching. So I was in and out of sleep last night, scratching, and then 5 o'clock in the morning I was like, I give up. I can't be bothered to go to sleep. It's not happening. So from 5 till 7 I was looking on Bookstagram and TikTok and stuff like that because I was so itchy, and because of that I'm tired because I've been awake since 5 o'clock and I didn't have the best sleep before that. So I'm going to stop reading now just because I am getting a little bit heavy with the eyes, and sometimes when that happens I struggle reading, like it doesn't like acknowledge much. So I'm going to go and take some more antihistamine because I've started itching again, and I'm hoping if I nip it in the bud I'll have a better night's sleep. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go and watch a bit of BookTube, and then I'm going to have an early night. But literally I have got nothing planned tomorrow, so once I've done the school drop off I will be picking this back up and continue on reading, and I probably will check in again when I've reached halfway. But yeah, so far I am really enjoying this book, and I'm glad because finally we have a book that like possibly might be an excellent read. So we'll see, and I'll catch up with you all a little bit later. It's gone really windy, so I'm sorry if you can't fully hear me, but we've just found out what exactly Chauncey is. So he is a Medusosa, otherwise known as a jellyfish. They also think he's got a bit of like a sea cucumber in him because he doesn't sting. He doesn't sting, and he doesn't carry any poison. So he's some sort of sea creature basically. But I'm just going to call him a green blob because that's just a better description. But yeah, we just found that out. loves, I thought I would quickly pop on and give you a reading update because I am literally halfway. Looks like I'm halfway. I'm on, where am I? Oh, I have no idea. Chapter 11, page 199. To be honest, there isn't really much to tell you. This book, as I kind of have noticed, is more basically Linus's like journey and him getting to know the children and, you know, writing his paper on the orphanage and what he thinks and blah blah blah. That's sort of what the story is, so that's sort of what I'm getting. There's not been any plot twists or anything like drastic that's happened. It is generally just Linus sort of getting to know everyone, seeing how the orphanage works and everything like that. Like, Linus's character, I'm still not sure how I feel about him. Like, there are moments when he seems human and he sort of understands the children and he sort of lets his guard down with him and he sort of cares a lot more. And then he remembers that he's not there to view the place, he's actually there to investigate the place. And then he remembers, like, you know, there's these rules and regulations, and then once again he's got like a rod up his ass again and he's all like, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it's just really like his character, like, I can tell as we get further into the book, I got a feeling like, you know, his character's gonna slowly, you know, not be full of these rules and everything like that, and I feel like you'll start getting a bit more humanity in him. But it's just, there's moments just where I'm like, oh, for God's sake, mate, come on. Like, he's 40 years old and he honestly acts like he's 80. He acts like an old man who just thinks his way is the best way and nothing else. So it's quite hard to, like, I am more invested in the children. I care about the children. I think the children are lovely. I think they're so funny, especially Lucy. I really like Arthur, who is Mr. Panassus. I also like Zoe, who is Miss Chapelwhite. Like, as you can see, like, we're now doing like first name basis rather than their surnames and stuff like that. I cannot fault the children. I love them, especially Lucy, who is the Antichrist and all that. Like, he is just hilarious. He's a 6-year-old. He is far too clever for his own good, but he is just so funny, and like, he's trying to play this big scary demon and like he really isn't. And I absolutely love Talia. Like, I want more of her character, if I'm going to be totally honest. There's not enough of her and I just want more of her. But Lucy's character sort of takes a limelight in my opinion, but you can't help loving Lucy, so you don't mind. And I feel like Chauncey as well, he sort of takes it a bit. The others not so much. I'm actually really enjoying seeing Sal's character grow because he's very nervous, he's very scared and things like that, and he's slowly coming out of his shell, which is quite nice. So that's really what's going on at the moment. Basically, it's just Linus getting to know the kids, sort of realising that, you know, he actually does care for these kids a lot more than like just doing his job, and he's sort of like reining it in, saying no, but obviously it's clear that he's going to continue. And they're currently gone on this exhibition in the woods next to the orphanage, which is just hilarious. But also, like, as well as that, we also do have a really big topic about prejudice, and everyone has it. Like, you cannot turn and say you have never been prejudiced about someone or something. Like, everyone has. Even I can admit I have as well. But the way this book talks about it, it's just, it's sort of just like a normal conversation being brought up and like making you like think your ways and like your opinions and all that, and understanding someone else's opinions and what they're, and it's really good. Like, it is a really important topic in this book and everything like that, but it's done in a way where it's just a conversation and you kind of don't realise that you're actually really thinking about what's being said, and also thinking like, what are you like with people, and like, what could you change in regards to your prejudice and all that. And I just really like that. I have looked up at trigger warnings because a lot of people said this is both a heartwarming and heartbreaking book. I did read up, and there was talks about abuse and stuff like that on the content warnings. I must admit, at the moment, I'm not really got any of that. Like, there has been talks of like a little bit of the background with the children, and especially one of them's, this is like its 12th orphanage she's been at. So I'm wondering, I don't know whether like
it's just like little sort of hints there, but like at the moment I've not got anything where I'm like, okay, yeah, that could be a trigger. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm honestly, I don't know where I'm at in ratings. Like, I'm between a 4 and a 5. Like, I feel like I'm possibly more on a 4.5. But I kind of feel like getting further into this book, I'm probably going to see a lot more. So at the moment I'm like a 4.5, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm just really invested with the children. I absolutely adore them, and yeah. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'm going to do any more reading tonight. I do need to catch up on my chapters for Rebel Skies read along, but I have the most horrendous headache. I've taken some Brufen, and usually that works, and it's not. And I have got a horrible feeling that I'm actually at the start of a migraine, and usually that knocks me out for a good few days. So I'm going to pause on the reading for a bit. I'm going to, my daughter's actually at Rainbows at the minute, so I don't need to pick her up until 5:45. So I'm going to go and have a lie down. I might have a little 30-minute nap, if I can nod off, and see whether that helps. But at the moment it's pounding, and I've had Brufen like about an hour or 2 hours ago, and it's not kicking in. Usually it does, and I'm a bit like, So yeah, if it goes, and I will start reading, like, but if not, I won't. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm gonna go and have a lie down because I don't feel brilliant, and yeah, we'll go from there. But that's where I am at. If I don't read any more tonight, I will certainly pick it up tomorrow, because it's a very hard book to put down. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I genuinely want to keep reading. So yeah, I will catch up with you all again. Possibly more than, like, unless like anything really really big happens and I need to like really discuss my feelings for it, I think I might update you when I've finished, just so I can like knuckle down and concentrate on it. But yeah, I will catch up with you later regardless, whenever that is. I will. I'm now going to go and have a lie down and see if I can get rid of this headache.
Good evening, my loves. I haven't updated you at all today, purely because I haven't done any reading. Well, I have done reading, I just haven't been reading A House in the Cerulean Sea. I decided to use today to catch up on Rebel Skies, which is Tandem Collective Read Along, because I was behind and I was like, nope, I need to finish it, because, if I'm going to be totally honest, I just wanted that book out of the way because it's just been sat there. So we did finish it. It was alright. I felt the first half of the book was better than the second half. The second half, considering it was YA, I thought was a little bit brutal. Like, admittedly, like, these people that were getting hurt were made out of paper, but it was just quite like violent. Like, you know, they were talking about, like, you know, trying to carve their heart out and everything. Okay, it was paper, but still it was a bit like, ooh. But yeah, so I finished that. My plan was to pick up The House in the Cerulean Sea, but I'm in one of those meh moods, and it's annoying because I don't get them often, but I get them occasionally. It's usually before I come on my period. I don't get them often. I would say like once every few months, and for a while I didn't really understand why I was feeling like this, but I started realising there was a pattern. It was usually the week before I come on, and it's like just a hormone thing, but it's annoying. And basically it's one of those ones where I just feel bored, I feel meh. I have like, I can't even say I have any feelings. Like, I don't have any. It is literally just I'm bored, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to eat, I don't know, like, it's just that literally I have no idea what to do with myself, and I hate it. And that's the mood I'm in. I'm constantly starving, but I don't know what to eat. Like, literally, this is my... I have Langleaf poetry, because I'm wondering whether that might, you know, get me to read. I've got some popcorn, and 7 o'clock at night I decided to make some croissant. Yeah, I just don't know what to do with myself. I'm not in a reading mood. Like, I'm gonna see whether about reading Sea of Strangers, because it is a poetry book and I like Langleaf, and I thought, like, you know, it might just be, you know, I don't have to think. But in all fairness, all I want to do is just scoff my face with food. And literally at the moment I've just been watching booktube. Well, actually no, that's a lie. I haven't even been watching books. I've been watching normal YouTube of people doing like a day in their life sort of thing. At the moment I'm watching this person called, I don't know if I pronounce this right, so I'll write it on here, but it's Cecile, I think, or Cecile. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce her name, but I think she's Danish, but she's living in Seoul, and it's just like her life in Japan, China, I'm not sure where, I don't know my geography, but I'm just obsessed with watching her at the moment. Like, she's just really aesthetically pleasing, and I love her style. And she's very like honest, like with her body image and confidence and stuff like that. So I've been currently watching her, and I've just been watching other people's like day in their life vlogs, just because I like being nosy and seeing what people do, because my life isn't that exciting. So that's where I am. Like, I'm kind of taking today as just doing whatever I feel like doing. Like, at the moment, that's pretty much zilch. And I'm hoping tomorrow I can get back at it with my reading, because this weekend I do want to do another vlog. I want to do a weekend vlog, but I can't do that if I haven't finished The House in the Cerulean Sea. So I kind of want to, like, you know, Amy, let's finish this vlog so you can start another one. So I'm hoping tomorrow, like, to be fair, tomorrow I might just force myself to read and finish it. Otherwise I probably never will. I am enjoying the book. I don't know. It's not my favourite. I don't fully understand the hype. Like, I love the children, like their characters, but we're not really focusing on like their points of view. It is Linus, and I don't really care for him. Like, I'm hoping as the book gets on, he changes. I don't know. Like, it isn't a 5-star read for me. I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, no, I don't feel like it's a 5-star read. Like, I'm at the moment, it's between a 4. Depending how it goes in the second half and the ending, I might be in a 4.5, but I don't think it's a 5-star, because it isn't. I don't know. It's nothing really brilliantly happening. Like, it is just this person getting to know these kids that are classed as more like monsters and not, but you know what I mean. And it's sort of that. If I'm going to be totally honest, Under the Whispering Door sounds more like a book I would enjoy. I think it's got more plot in and a bit more depth than what this book has. Like, I'll be totally honest, it's not a book that I like literally, like, I can put down, like, I really want to read it. Like, you know, I haven't read it at all today and I'm not bothered. So yeah, I think I'm just going to force myself to read it tomorrow, because I've got a feeling if I don't, I'm just going to constantly keep putting it away. Like, I am enjoying it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. I am. I kind of suppose I like my books to have a bit more plot in it and a bit more action. At the minute, I'm just like, it isn't. It is literally just this person getting to know these kids, and I absolutely love the kids, but we're not fully getting their point of view. It is Linus, and I'm just like, you're a miserable shit, and you've got a rod up your ass, and I'm not bothered by you. But yeah, that's what's going on. I'm not reading tonight, so like, I might possibly try and read a bit of this, but we'll see. I'm in that mood. I hate it, because sometimes it lasts for a day, sometimes it lasts for a while. And it's annoying, because it's one of those ones where I just genuinely don't know what to do. I'm really bored, I'm really hungry, but I don't know what to eat. It's one of those ones where I'm such a shit mood, and it does deteriorate a bit, because usually I then start getting really emotional, really anxious, really sad, and a little bit depressed, and then like I won't do anything. So I'm kind of like, please don't be that, because that won't work, because usually when that happens, it is generally I do not do anything, and I mean anything. I literally just sit and mope. So I'm hoping we don't go into that end, because yeah. So that's that. I'm now going to go and eat my croissant and popcorn, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be back at reading and I can talk to you about that. But yeah, that's that. Sorry. Bye-bye. Hello, my loves. Excuse the state of me. Like, honestly, just ignore it. Just ignore it. I'm also beetroot red, because we burnt. We burnt. We're going to ignore the fact that I look like a hot dog right now. But I finished The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I take everything back about Linus. I do. I take it all back. Guys, we have our first 5-star read in this 12-book challenge, and I am so glad that this book deserved the full-on hype that everyone has given this book. I was so worried I wasn't going to be on there, especially as much as like, I enjoyed the children, I really was like, I don't like Linus. Like, he was like sort of irritating me. I take it all back. I was outside, and I'm not gonna lie, I think if I was in my room and no one was around, and I think I probably would have let the little tears that were like trying to come out. Oh, there was just a moment I was just like, oh my god, no. Oh, it's just the most heartwarming book I have ever read. Like, I felt rotten today. Like, honestly, I woke up at midday and I was like tempted to just go back to sleep, but I saw that it was really sunny, it was blue sky, hardly any clouds, and I was like, no, I'm not going to ruin the day. So I ended up thinking, sod it, so I shoved on some loungewear comfies and got everything ready and sat outside. And I'm so glad I did, because it was absolutely glorious out and it really did perk me up. And also, I managed to read the last half of this book, and oh god, was it good! Like, the children in here, Sal, Chauncey, Theodore, Talia, I'm trying to remember what Talia and Fee, and Lucy. They are just amazing, and like the second half of the book, we really got into understanding who they are, what happened to them, and everything like that. And we got to the part where Sal finally actually spoke to Linus and like let him look at his room and everything, and it was the most cutest moment ever. And like stuff with and then there was like a moment with Lucy who was having nightmares, and Linus like went there and said the stuff, and it really helped Lucy. It was wonderful. And like when Linus left, I sort of was like, I knew this was going to end happy, and I knew he was going to come back. But I quite like the fact that he went. Like, he didn't want to go, but he had to go because he knew deep down that he needed to stand up for these kids. He needed to stand up for this orphanage, even though we don't like to call it an orphanage. And like how it ended. And then I love the epilogue, the fact that they were going to adopt, like, all 6 of them, and the fact that they had someone else, like another child coming into Marcius. It was lovely. Like, there was moments like where I really got fed up with the prejudice, especially with the other townspeople in the island. Like, it really was horrible, and I thought, oh my god. And like there was like a massive big like thing about prejudice and all that, and it is like people who fear, they don't actually bother to get to know these people. They just take it and that's it. No, they all this. And like Linus did this one big point, and I absolutely applauded him. It's probably what made me start thinking, nope, he's brilliant, because one of the like townspeople, which we found out was the mayor as well, she actually stood up for the children and Arthur and all of this, and Linus turned around and said, thank you for doing so, but why has it taken you all these years to do it now? And I was just like, yes, like, we appreciate the fact that she stood up for the children and all of that, but why has it taken till Linus got there for her to actually, say something? And like, it was like, I think without Linus, I don't think people would have realised, it was wonderful. It was so wonderful. And like, I laughed so, like, I was laughing out loud. I got quite emotional. Like, honestly, I think if I was on my own, I probably would have teared up. I'm due on, so I'm quite hormonal anyway. But it was just, like, I'm so glad Linus changed, because honestly, I got to the point where if his character didn't change, like, it wouldn't be a 5-star for me. It would have been a 4, 4.5, purely because it really was, like, he just had a rod up his ass. He was just, I don't know, it was just, but, like, he didn't feel like he was human, really. But literally, like, I think after the first chapter of the half, like, the first chapter from where I left it the other day, like, everything just changed, and you could just slowly see him really appreciate the children and actually care for them. He was caring for Arthur too, and it was clear Arthur liked him because she was showing signs. And the reveal about Arthur, I knew there was something odd about him just because of the way it was talking, and I was like, okay, the way it was like Arthur's character sort of was brought, it to me was very much like there's something to do with Arthur, like what, and then when it came out that he was a phoenix, I was like, I was just, I loved the fact that Linus stood up for everyone, and the fact that it wasn't just Marcius, it was he wanted to stand up for everyone, and like he started whistleblowing about the magical government, and it was sort of who did it. Like, I think it possibly was Linus, but you never know. But it was just like he changed everything, not just because of Marcius and the children there. He actually changed his government and the way they were thinking, and like all of this, and like it was a start. And I thought, yes, it was so good. Like 5 stars. Like, honestly, the last half of this book was everything. Like, the first half was brilliant, but mainly because of the children. I absolutely adored the children. But the second half, everything just came together, and like we really saw the children's like personalities a lot more.
and I just loved them, and they reminded me a lot of Alice as well, with her quirkiness and stuff like that. So it was sort of like, oh, and it was like the mother in me just really invested these children, hoping that, you know, they finally get like this good outcome that they deserve and everything, and it did. And I was just like, it was such a moving book, and it really does make you think about prejudice and like the whole, if you don't understand something or someone, how much you are prejudiced. And like, you know, it even made me evaluate some things. Like I wouldn't say I'm extremely prejudiced, but there are moments that I catch myself and I am. Um and it was just like stuff with this book, it just made me realise, oh, actually, you know, I shouldn't judge the way people look and what they're like and all of that. Like, you know, there might be something behind it. And the fact that I have a hidden disease, I have an invisible illness that unless people know and I talk to them about it, no one would know. And, you know, there's sometimes that I completely look at people and think, oh, this, and then, but then I'm also now like, well, hold on, who says that they haven't got something wrong with them and I don't know? And why am I being so prejudiced about it when actually, you know, people wouldn't know I'm severely ill unless I actually told them, and or you physically saw me at my worst. It really did. It just opened my eyes. It just made me really sort of evaluate what I'm doing and like how much I can be better as a person. And it was just, it was wonderful. It was a 5-star read, and I'm not gonna lie, I really want to pick up Under the Whispering Door. Like, I know it's completely different to The House in the Cerulean Sea, but I know it's gonna have like the same found familyness, I think, the same like important topics. Like, I'm wondering whether this focuses more on mental health, possibly. I'm not sure, I can't remember what it's about. It was wonderful, honestly. Like, 5 stars, no doubt about it. It's my first 5 stars in the 12 book challenge. I'm so glad that this challenge actually made me read it, because honestly, I've been putting it off for so many years because I've been so worried that I won't get the hype. I get the hype now. It was fantastic, honestly. Like, I'm going to be one of those people now to say you need to read this book. This is definitely going to be on my top favourite books of 2022, no doubt about it. Everyone needs to read it. Even if you've already read it, reread it, because it's just so wonderful. But yeah, it's officially now the end of this vlog. I've had a blast. I loved every second of this book, I'm not going to lie. I'm so glad I read it, and I'm so glad that we're back into the flow of things, because the last 2 months with the books that I had to read were not it. And honestly, I was starting to like really want to scratch this challenge and think, no, I don't want to do anymore. But I'm so glad that we finally have a 5-star read, a book that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm now getting excited for the remaining months, because I think those books are going to be good, and I think those books are going to start causing this competition to see which will be my top book, because so far this is my first 5-star and we're going to say this is on the top. But there are a few other books that I put on for the remaining months that I think might be just as good. So that's going to be interesting. I think it's now going to be a good fight, and I just hope I don't get any more disappointing reads, because I don't like it that. But yeah, I'm going to end this vlog now, even though I look awful, but we'll go, who cares? Who cares, really? So yeah, that's the end of this vlog. And look forward to next month's 12-book challenge recommendation, which I can't remember what it is. I think it was The Priory of the Orange Tree, but I have moved it because I am taking part in whatever-a-thon. And I don't want to have this big chunky book alongside these books that I have in place, because I want to try and do all of the prompts for whatever-a-thon. So I think I've moved it to like another month that I know is not going to be too busy, but I can't remember what I changed it to. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, thank you for watching this vlog. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you again in the next one.